Okay, evening guys. Today we're going to talk about price action. We're going to start with theory. Obviously there's a lot of price action patterns, like your head and shoulders. This is upside down, so I'd say head and shoulders, and there are rules that apply to it. There's wedges and pennants and so on and so on and so on. There's so many price action patterns that you can find. So now I'm gonna start with trend lines and how to use trend lines, which is the most important part when it comes to price action, right? So when we're looking at trend lines, the first thing you have to, let me explain this the same way as I explained when I was explaining the theory, the structure theory. Let's say you are in a room and this is the floor and this is the roof. No, wait. This is the roof and this is you right here. This is you, the extra long body, and let's say there's a hole right here, or ceiling, whatever. You see that thing on the ceiling that you can use to go through to the roof or whatever. So yeah, let's say you take a tennis ball and I'm going to explain support and resistance right now. If you take a tennis ball and throw it on the ground, it will find support and bounce, and then hit the roof and resist to go higher, and then come back, find support. What happens if this goes above? If it gets to the hole, it won't stop. It will keep going and bounce on the tiles or whatever, and then come back and find support here, and then find support and find support until the momentum dies off. You understand? If you throw the tennis ball this way, like so hard, and then hits here, find support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support. And let's say this is the ceiling. This is the ceiling, that's the roof or whatever, the tiles and everything. So it will literally bounce there and start playing around and so on and so on. So that's how the market also moves, just the same way as I was explaining the other day. So if, let's say, the room was like this. Let's say you're in a room that's like this. Sorry. Let's say you're in a room that's like this. Let's say your room is like this, and you throw the tennis ball. What will happen is we find support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, until somehow it stops. And just the same way with the room. If there's a hole here, it will break through the hole, bounce on the ceiling, and then keep going higher and bounce higher. So that's how the market moves too when it comes to price action. But how do you really identify this when it comes to trend lines? Let's do it like this. The most important part that bounces is the second response. If you are standing right here, the cool hairstyle, and you throw a tennis ball and then it bounces, then goes high, and then bounces here, and you're expecting it to go all the way down there and it doesn't. where do you expect it to go next time? Do you expect it to come all the way here? No, because you're starting to see that there's a pattern that it's doing something, but I'm sorry, it bounced here, and then sorry, let me do it like this. It bounced here, went high, bounced, went high. So now I wouldn't be surprised if it bounced here, because now I can see that the pattern, that this is probably the floor is not as level as before. You understand? So as a trader, when you're trading price action, what you do is you wait for this. Let's say the ground is like this. This will be a perfect example. If the ground is like this, and you as the person who's throwing the ball throws it on the ground, and it goes high, and then now it bounces here. Now you understand these two bounces. This is the first one. It could be something like this. You don't know. If it bounced here, if it came all the way down here, then you're like, okay, I predict next time it might come back. So now, since you can see that it bounced here the second time, now starting from here, you can draw a trend line from here to here. You understand? And so on and so on, and expect the market to bounce here, and so on and so on and so on. And that's how it works. You know, it's just like being in the same room. Being in the same room like this, being in the same room, and if you throw the ball, you already know that it's going to hit the ceiling and the ground and the ceiling, and if you see, oh, there's a hole up there, you know it's going to go up and maybe probably come back to bounce here. So now, how do you know that this is going to happen? My phone's about to go off. Give me a minute. How do you know this is going to happen? Because you know where the ground is. What if this room that you're in was like this, and you threw the tennis ball here? Would you expect it to go and then come down here when you know that this? No, because you know that it's not level. You understand? And so on and so on. You know, you'd expect it to do this because that's how life works. There's the same thing with the markets. If you understand this, if you understand this whole theory of how this moves, how if you're in a room and you throw a tennis ball and it bounces around, and how it will bounce according to how level the ground is. The secret to trading this strategy is this. It's this part. The second bounce. Oh, sorry. Let me use this one, it's better. If this bounces and then goes up and then bounces, this tells you everything, because it could have gone all the way down there and you're like, okay, it's level. But if this goes up, then now you have an answer that, okay, this, I can say this ground goes like this, it's not level, so next time it will bounce, it will be somewhere around here, and then it will go higher and down and up. You understand? Even on the upside, after it does this, after it bounces here and goes higher, we call this the second response. After it bounces here and goes higher and goes up, we don't know if this is level, but if this bounces, and then now we know that, okay, this side is also level. You understand? Now we have an answer. The second bounce gives you the answer, and now we're gonna expect this to bounce here and bounce up there and bounce back down, because we see how the room is now. You understand? Expect a bounce here, expect a bounce here. If this goes higher, then it comes back down. What do you expect? You expect it to hit the ceiling and keep going higher. or play around this area. You understand? So that's how markets move. And if you watch this video over and over again and you understand the theory of this, trust me, it's gonna be easy. So tomorrow we're gonna do I'm gonna do a couple of videos using real price, real charts, and yeah, and then we're gonna carry on from there.